out a bit. And online, we've got Fliss Miller, who could also answer any questions if we need help. Janet.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, Chair and members. My name's Janet Warren. I'm the lead commissioner working on the adult education budget. The purpose of my report is to provide an update on the annual assurance work that has been completed for the previous academic year, that's 2021 to 2022. The Combined Authority places reliance on the funding assurance work undertaken by independent audit firms, where sampling and testing is completed to reach an opinion over the use of funds which the provider has claimed and received from the Combined Authority over the course of that academic year. Testing was based on a standardised funding assurance approach where we sampled both adult education budget and free courses for jobs funding streams in order to provide a conclusion and to report back to the Department for Education, as is required of us as part of devolution. And in the future, as more funding is devolved and delegated from central government, the Combined Authority will be required to expand this assurance work. The Combined Authority has been responsible for the delivery of adult skills since the 1st of August 2019, with a recurring budget of around £12 million. And additionally, from 2021, we have received by delegation the National Skills Fund, otherwise referred to as Free Courses for Jobs, with a financial year budget of around £600,000. We continue to fund two types of providers, both grant-funded local authority further education colleges and the procured independent training providers. Our annual assurance approach helps us to ensure best possible skills outcomes for learners, local employers, and value for money for taxpayers. The report that you will have seen is in reference specifically to the last academic year. During that period, 4 of the AEB providers had been selected to receive the funding assurance visits. I'm happy to report that all 4 audits have concluded within the hard close, and we have reviewed the results in order to inform any next steps as appropriate. Looking ahead, the audit plan for the current academic year, using a risk-based approach, 6 providers have been identified for a funding assurance visit and will be notified in writing over the coming days. These audits are planned to conclude within the current academic year so that any funding errors can be corrected within the year. Our wider assurance approach also includes internal controls such as performance management and monitoring, quality assurance reviews, and we continue to work closely with Ofsted, ESFA and the other combined authorities to share intelligence and inform compliance as a sector. Thank you for listening. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Janet. Very, very clear, very helpful. Comments?
Thanks very much, Chair. Janet, thank you very much. I think I'm looking forward to the current academic year as part of your process. You're looking at 6. And I was just a bit alarmed to see in FE Week discussions about a particular firm that had suddenly stopped producing any form of training. And I'm just wondering how sensitive your process is to identify any other issues that might come from any other provider, because this was something of a surprise to the market. And I'm just wondering how resilient we might be if this sort of thing would happen again. Thank you.
Thank you. Could I ask, is that in relation to a recent news on a provider that you've mentioned? The article you mentioned, was that a recent provider? Because I believe that the team were notified already directly by that provider, because we do have an existing contract with them. So it's it's that ongoing sharing of intelligence piece that we have robust performance management in place as well. So typically this kind of information we would be aware of, and I think Fliss would like to come in as well.
Yeah, thank you, Janet. Thank you, Councillor Coles. So one of the things that we've been doing across the skills team is to ensure that we increase the number of providers that we work with, so therefore mitigating risk if any of our providers do stop delivering. So therefore, that's been a planned and managed part of what we're doing across the skills team, recognising that many training providers do stop operating, and so our provider base was too small, which is why we've taken that active decision to change our approach.
Any other comments? Yeah, well, thank you, Jan. And this is and Fliss. I mean, I must admit, when I started my journey with the combined authority, I didn't really understand what this was all about. But and particularly having been at the Peterborough University last week for the induction session, it was reminded how important it is and the scale of it, which I didn't think I really comprehended, and that it's a difficult market in order to manage and to monitor. So thank you both for giving us this update, and presumably on the closed item there'll be an update in due course. Thank you very much. Okay, now I properly declare the meeting over, and I'm sorry I mismanaged that bit.